Here's a video, folks. Another one. And I have to say that mm, this guy, he's a reporter, investigative reporter. He's been around for years. He's saying that, and he's on the media. He has a book, and he's saying that he's doing a media tour, and he's saying that Kamala Harris won the election. Actually, won the election, and the election was rigged. And this has been going on. He's saying that the Republicans rigged the election. And they've been doing it for years, and Democrats won't do nothing about it. They won't do nothing.
They shouldn't be doing that. They should. Okay, watch this. Here we go. Look at this.
Who won or who lost the election?
It's real simple. If not for vote suppression tactics, that's a fancy word for shafting people of color out of their vote, young people out of their vote. Kamala Harris would have won 3,565,000 votes. That's the number of voters that were denied the right to vote because they were purged or they were challenged or they had their provisional ballot thrown out.
3,565,000 votes that were thrown out. Excuse you?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't more people talking about this? Why is this not a much, much, much bigger deal? And by the way, this is the difference, right, between the right and the left. Republicans genuinely and sincerely lose the election in 2020. Wasn't even close. Biden won by what? 3.5 percentage points or something like that. Millions and millions, 7 million votes, whatever it was. It was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Trump, from day one, wrong, I won, I got it. Everybody knows I got it. They're lying, they're cheating. Here's some fake stories that I found that I'll say as if they're real. And all the Republicans, yes, sir, they go right along and they start doing it. Here we have a story, a real investigative journalist giving you some real information about over 3.5 million votes that Kamala got that they threw out. Nobody's even talking about it. It's not going to make it to CNN. It's not going to make it to MSNBC. It's not going to make it to any Democratic politicians. Nobody in the media is going to talk about it, even in new media, where we're supposed to tell you the truth, right? Turns out...
Yeah, it seems like the Democrats don't really want to win. My theory is that they don't want... Somehow people want this guy and want Donald Trump into power. You can say the deep state, or you can say whoever it is. And you have control over the whole media, the whole apparatus. And the parties. They want this guy in power. And yeah, apparently.
Turns out we got a lot of fake new media around us. Turns out we got a lot of fake independent media. They're new corporate media, and nobody's going to tell you this.
Let me give you some of the numbers. The reason I'm giving you numbers, and I've waited so long to make this report, is that I have to get the numbers from the government agencies, particularly something we call the Elections Assistance Commission. So people don't realize, I used to be a professor of statistics. I was a forensic economist. This is my specialty, the numbers, which I usually did for attorneys general and the U.S. Department of Justice and other government agencies. And so these are calculations I would do, and I have done for federal courts. So we had, are you ready for this? According to the Elections Assistance Commission, the official numbers, we had 4,776,706 voters purged from the voter rolls.
Wow.
Wrongly.
No.
And I'm not making this up. I had the guys from that work with Microsoft and Amazon go through every single purged name in 2 states, Georgia, Wisconsin.
4.7 million votes were purged wrongly. 4.7 million votes. Guys, we've gone through this. Go if you haven't watched the segment that I did, I believe it was the week after the election or 2 weeks after the election, where we talk about the election rigged conspiracy theories. Go watch that segment right now. And Greg Palast is in that segment too, and he breaks down for you how they purge the votes, how they purge them. Apparently, it's the first time ever a citizen can object to another citizen voting, and then that leads to the vote being pulled, and then you have to fill out a provisional ballot, and the provisional ballot doesn't get counted.
Yep.
Right? He explains all of that. He explains, you guys all know about the voting.
I really had, see how the thing on the video, I should have got the clip from the Tom Hartman show. He explains it more. He explains it more on that show. I should have done it on got the clip from, I'm using Carl Kalinske, but I should use the Tom Hartman. He really goes into it. Explains that. I mean, I don't think he explains it here. I don't think he shows that clip, or maybe he does. But on the Tom Hartman show, he shows that. He's explaining that.
Lists that get purged. The voter rolls get purged. Where they pull all these different, we think this person's dead, we think this person moved, and they pull. But they do it wrongly all the time, and they do it predominantly in poor areas, working class areas, where minority communities live. This is what they do. This is what
black people, where black people live.
they do.
We took those two states. And we found, for example, in Georgia, that 198,000 voters, we actually have their names and addresses, were wrongly removed from the voter rolls, and you'll be shocked, overwhelmingly, voters of color. In Wisconsin, almost every voter removed by the purge was either a black voter in Milwaukee or a student in Madison. Mm-hmm. We had this brand new business this year of vigilante voter challenges. We talked about that on the air, where for the first time...
This is what I just mentioned. And he's got a whole thing on this. You guys should check it out. Greg Palast talks about this in detail.
Very first time, an individual voter like Greg Palast can say, Tom Hartman does not live in Portland, he shouldn't be allowed to vote. This is new. A third of a million, 317,000 voters were challenged by the beginning of August. NAACP said it was over 200,000 just Georgia alone by Election Day. We had 2.12 million mail-in ballots rejected, and that one...
2.12 million mail-in ballots rejected. That's the other thing. They have all these tricks that they use, the Republicans have. One of the things they do is they'll make it so that they're absolute form Nazis, where they go, hey, the date is a little illegible, throw it out, right? Or you didn't put the date, throw it out. Or you don't have your middle initial, you need to put your middle initial. Or you don't have your middle name, you need to put your middle name. Or you do have your middle name, you actually weren't supposed to put your middle name. They find ways. They find ways to throw it out if they want to throw it out. And they do it predominantly in the Democratic areas. That's what happens.
Mean anything. If we're random, it's not random, Tom. According to the state of Washington, which did a study, you're 400% more likely to have your mail-in ballot rejected if you're black than if you're white. And what?
400% more likely to have your mail-in ballot rejected if you're white, if you're black than if you're white.
Yep. Wow.
400%.
Washington State has the least voter suppression of any state in the union. And according to the U.S. Civil Rights Commission, which did a study, they found that the chance of your ballot being rejected, mail-in or in-precinct, is 900% higher if you're black than if you're white. We have over 500,000 votes that were spoiled. That is, they said they couldn't be read. And again...
Spoiled. That's another one. Spoiled ballots. Oh, yeah, we can't read this. Okay, I need everybody to understand. The idea that they're doing this perfectly, systematically, with objectivity in mind, neutrality in mind, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. We know Republican states and Republican counties have a history of doing anything and everything they can to get upper hand and screw the other side. Right? That's you go back to the legacy of the civil rights movement and to Jim Crow. Poll tests, literacy tests, have one polling place open for all of the black people in a giant community, have like 12 open for the white area.
It's very, very racial. We had 1.2 million provisional ballots rejected. People think, they get this, you go in and they say, oh, you've been challenged, you've been purged, or we can't find your name on the rolls, here, fill out this provisional ballot. 43% of those ballots, according to the U.S. government, 43% of provisional ballots, and there were about 4 million in the last, or about 3 million in the last election. 43% of those were thrown in the garbage.
43% of provisional ballots are thrown in the garbage.
Overwhelmingly voters of color. And in fact, if you're black, Hispanic, or Latino, or Asian American, the chance you'll be given a provisional ballot is 300% higher than if you're white. We're talking, there's some double counting here. The vote suppression factor is about 2.3%. Again, Kamala Harris would have even won the popular vote, 3.565 million extra votes.
She would have even won the popular vote. He's not done.
She would have won the states of Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. These are pretty exacting calculations. Wow. And so she would have won with the 286 electoral votes.
You guys remember when I did my predictions? What did I say was the floor for Kamala Harris? The least I could see her winning. I believe the exact number was 286 electoral votes. Mm-hmm. According to investigative journalist Greg Palast, That's exactly what you got.
Wow.
Why are we the only ones talking about this? Why is Tom Hartman and Greg Palast, why are they the only ones doing the Lord's work? Look, I think I know the answer, right? I think I know the answer. The answer is people on the Democratic side, liberals, leftists, and Democrats, they feel like, well, look, we went after the right for their election denialism for years.
That's the thing, folks. The right actually does, what they do is projecting. See, the right wing, they always been saying that the elections are, the Democrats steal the election, or that somehow it's rigged. In actual fact, they've been doing it. The thing is, what they said the Democrats are doing, they've been doing all along. So it's all been projection. So in actual fact, they've been stealing elections for years, not allowing people to vote, rigging elections, rigging the vote so they will win. That's how the Republicans win. They rig the election, they steal. I didn't say steal, kind of rigged. Because when they rig, sometimes they rig, they don't win. Doesn't come out for them. This time, it probably came out for them. See, the Republicans threw out votes, and the Democrats don't want to deal with that. In some cases, they want them to win. Somehow they want this guy to get in. I mean, Joe Biden should have stepped down long before. And they had to put in Kamala Harris. But this is all bullshit, folks. The Democrats, they're not challenging it. The media's not challenging it. It's like they don't care. And it's too hard to prove, I guess. Because some say his numbers are not correct. That's why Pacman said his numbers are not correct. We should be doing this. They shouldn't be doing this. They should be doing it. I mean, they should challenge. Kamala Harris should have challenged it. They should have done at least recounts of the election. That's what they should have done. Anyways, folks, what do you think? I want to show something else. Here's Donald Trump's here. Let's see.
They get nearly as much burn and as much spread as it should. One more thing. This went kind of viral the other day, and this is related to what we were just talking about. This was a moment that you got some eyebrow raising going on. People were like, huh. There was another clip where Trump said, he talked about the election was rigged, and it sounded like he was talking about this election. Now, the counter argument is people say, no, he was actually talking about 2020. It was a weird transition in the sentence where it wasn't clear he was talking about 2020, right? But whatever you think of that, put that aside. This is another one that raised eyebrows. Listen to what Trump said the other day.
And then he journeyed to Pennsylvania, where he spent
Talking about Elon.
like a month and a half campaigning for me in Pennsylvania. And he's a popular guy, and he was very effective. And he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon.
He knows those computers, those vote counting computers, better than anyone. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania in a landslide. Thank you, Elon. All right. You make of that whatever you will, but here.
Yeah. Did he do something? He did something to the computers. That's what Trump's saying. Did he? These guys somehow they fix. I don't know, folks. They always rigged elections. Republicans, folks, and this is about a couple of weeks ago. But I started to do this. This whole thing. Carl Kalinske and David Pacman and Tom Hartman. They're talking about this 2 weeks ago. Decided to do it now. What do you think, folks? They just throw out the Republicans just throw out votes. That's how they win. And Trump, Even that too. There's another thing. He paid people to vote. That's illegal. That should be illegal too. I think that's illegal, isn't it? Elon Musk, he did pay people to vote. I think that is true. And no one's really talking about that. Paying people, I don't know how many, $2 million, or maybe not 2 million. He's paid people to vote Trump. That's another thing, folks. Anyways, folks, what do you think of this? I'm out.